The whole point of a date is to talk and to get to know each other more. If this is the first time they ever saw each other, why would he continue up the mountain without her when it was supposed to be a date, your very first date at that? It makes no sense. Welcome back to the Schaik Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Van Schaik. With me, we have our great assistant, co-host, ZZ, Gen Z ZZ. So, ZZ, we have a few people talking, and it's kind of interesting because some are calling you a flirt.
Yay.
Yay? You're a flirt?
Yeah.
Is that true? Are you a flirt?
Not really.
Based on last podcast we did,
Yeah.
some people are calling you a flirt because your shirt last time was see-through.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be clear with everybody. I don't tell her what to wear, or it's not like a thing of mine where I'm like, hey, yeah, wear this or whatever, right? I
Yeah.
never tell you anything of what to wear. Like, hey, you show up at my door, and I'm like, all right, if that's what you want to wear, that's what you wear. And when you were
Yeah.
talking to me about, doing a podcast, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll wear my see-through shirt. I don't care. I told you.
Yeah, I know you did. You were like,
I was
people
like,
are going to say something.
People are going to say something. They're not going to just let you get away with that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, she's wearing a see-through shirt. You can see directly into her bra.
It's a cool Calvin Klein bra. It's an expensive bra.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to hide the expensive bra.
Wait, when people say I'm a flirt, is that just a nice way of saying slut?
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
everyone can let you know in the comments. And they're also, I don't know if you haven't really read the comments so much.
Not
and
so
I think
much
you're
yet.
kind of shielding yourself from them. And I would too. And I actually recommend it if starting out, you probably don't want to read the comments so much. Something that I also noticed is that we here, it's kind of a little bit of body language
Yeah.
that we do here. And some people follow body language. They read up on body language. They watch my body language videos.
Nice.
And they also have some assumptions about you, ZZ.
Me?
Oh, yeah,
About
you.
my body language?
About your body language. Oh, gotta say it properly. Body language.
Are they saying I'm nervous and stuff?
I don't know.
no.
I think they're looking into your heart, ZZ.
Oh.
No, I don't think
No,
it's an
no.
awe. I
Oh.
think it's more of a gossipy thing.
Oh,
They're looking into
Okay.
your heart.
my heart. Why?
They
Whoa.
may be saying some things about how you truly feel about the host.
Oh.
The host? ZZ.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, no, they got me.
Some hair tosses and some preening gestures.
Yeah.
Yes.
I play with my hair all the time. Though.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying that's
Yeah.
your baseline. Is there
Yeah.
anything I need to know here?
No. No.
Okay, we're going to leave it
Yeah.
at that. We can let everyone else read your body
We'll
language.
let them decide.
And then also, I think we were talking about this. You
Mhm.
know, you have a similar style as Jenna Marbles, right?
Do I? Yeah.
You remember?
Oh,
You remember
well,
how the song goes? I don't know if you all follow TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever, but there's a very famous one. Remember that one? That's
Which
like,
one?
I have 3 looks, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. You got-
I'm a 12-year-old boy, a homeless man, and a hooker.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I do.
That's pretty
so
true. That's pretty true because the
Yeah.
other day you showed up here and you pretty much look like a homeless
dude.
Yeah, like a homeless basketball player. You said
Yeah.
for everybody who's asking, it's not like she shows up every day with looking like the hooker. Sometimes she looks like a 12-year-old boy, and sometimes she looks like a homeless man. We don't always really schedule out these podcasts. Sometimes ZZ, usually ask me ahead of time, like, are we gonna do a podcast? And I'm like, yeah. But that's the case every time. I'm always optimistic that we'll have enough time to do a podcast other than everything else we're doing.
Yeah.
In addition to, we want to talk about as well is hiring editors.
Yeah.
We're working on that. Who would have thought it's that hard to hire an editor? Remember?
Yeah.
I was nearly throwing a fit.
That was a nightmare.
For me. I don't
Yeah.
really get emotional. But the other day,
You were pacing back and forth.
I
and
was just beside
ranting.
myself. I could not understand this world. It was
Mm-hmm.
what is going on in this world? What the heck was that? What we're doing is not anything crazy, at least with a podcast. We need an editor. Facts. Yeah?
You have 5 channels.
Yes, I have 5 channels. I need an editor, okay? And I need someone who knows basically what they're doing. However, it's not as easy as you all would think because apparently people just lie about their capabilities and what they do and what they know how to do and everything else. Why don't we tell some of the crazy stories you all will not believe? that are a part of our life here now. We started talking to some people on Upwork, and we'll say, okay, well, you sound good. All right. Send us your work. What kind of work have you done? Some of them either don't have it, don't really send you anything. But people who do, some of them, send us things that are just quite odd and curious, such as what? Pretty much every Universal Studios commercial that was ever filmed or created and was posted on YouTube. They sent us that. And they're claiming that they actually edited those. And I was like, oh my goodness, really? Seriously, guy? It's total bullshit. They're just hoping that you are that dumb. That's what it was,
It
Zizi.
was like that. As soon as they heard my voice over the phone when I was interviewing
Yeah, because you were
them.
doing the interviewing. I'm too busy to be working with editors. You were interviewing them, and they all sounded okay, right?
Yeah, they sounded very confident. They were like, oh, yeah, everything I explained to them, like all the expectations I have for them and stuff,
Right.
they were like, yeah, we got all of that.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
worry
no
about
problem.
it.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
no problem. We got
I
all
was
this.
like, okay.
Right.
Like, that's great. Show me your work. They showed me their work, and I was like, what the
All
fuck
these
am I
Universal
supposed to
Studios
do with
ads
this?
with
Yeah.
Eli Manning in them. like,
Like,
come on.
What?
Really? Complete bullshit. We're talking to some other people, and
Mhm.
some of them sounded okay. We're like, okay, we can maybe try them out by editing a podcast, a visual video podcast. And he asked questions, right?
Mhm.
The guy was asking questions, was like, oh, well, how many cameras? You were in a 3-camera setup? And we were like, yes. Oh, wow, you have some experience. And it was like, yes.
Mhm.
You tell the stories easy.
They were like, yeah, we know how to do all of that.
Oh, yeah, all the
We have
time.
experience. They would even say, well, I've worked with YouTubers before. And I was
Right.
like, oh, that's good.
And
'cause
they
that's what
said
I
they
want.
edited all the podcasts, all the video
Yeah.
podcasts. We're like, great. And then we said specifically, let's see them. Let's see your video podcast that you say you edited and see what they look like.
Mm-mm.
All right.
I spent hours on the phone interviewing people, and I was thinking like, oh, this might be a tough decision to pick between people.
Because everyone sounds so
Yeah.
good, you thought.
You turned to me, you were like, there's no way someone can fuck up a podcast.
Right.
Editing,
That
'cause
was
it's
the
one
thing.
of the easiest things.
Yes. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
eventually sends us all of his work,
podcasts.
all the work that he's done and
Yeah.
all the podcasts that he's edited. What we saw was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Because what he sent us was all these like really 2-bit podcasts. When I mean bad, I mean really bad. Worse than you could ever imagine, that you would never see on YouTube or anywhere else, because it's just that bad. No one was really watching the podcast
Yeah.
at all. So the views were like 5 in the past 6 months. The video editor, instead of using the audio that comes through the microphone, they were using the audio that was coming through the cameras. If you don't know, the camera audio is what's called scratch audio. It's garbage. It's usually just used just to sync everything. So, you clap your hands, you're able to sync everything and make the video match the audio, the master audio that you're using, the audio that's coming through the microphones. They were using just the scratch audio, and it sounded like crap.
He's like,
Absolutely
well, then what was
crap.
the point of the
And they were
microphones?
speaking to microphones. Yeah, they were speaking to microphones, and it just sounded like crap. Completely incomprehensible when you're editing and trying to put a podcast together. Something we want to talk about is that there's a case of a lady, a young woman, that went and I guess met someone online through Instagram.
Yeah.
And she was in Boston and he was in Arizona. And they met each other on Instagram, and they thought each other, they thought it was going great. And she thought like, hey, he seems good. And he was a cop. And she went to see him from Boston. She flew over to Arizona to go meet up with him, to have a date with him in Arizona. Yeah, the girl's name is Angela Tramonte, and the guy's name is Dario Dizdar. They're both around like 30 years old. She flies there. They go on their first date. Okay. They go on a hike. I think that she felt a little overwhelming, that she wasn't up for the hike, supposedly. So it seems like she was supposed to head back down the mountain, Camelback Mountain. And he was like, oh, I'm going to continue up the hike. Weird, on a first date. He continues up the hike. He comes back down and is like, oh, where is she? And she goes missing. And then she dies of dehydration and heat exposure.
How recent is this case?
Quite recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like literally happened in the past month or so.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're going on your first date, this is the honeymoon phase, okay? Your very first date. The person just literally just came into town on a freaking airplane. And
From
you
the
go
other side of the
hiking
country,
on
too,
the other
yeah.
side of the country. And you go on your first date hiking, and then all of a sudden that he is going to leave her behind on their first date? The whole point of a date is to talk and to get to know each other more. If this is the first time they ever saw each other, why would he continue up the mountain without her when it was supposed to be a date, your very first date at that? It makes no sense.
He lives in Arizona. He can go finish that hike on his own if he really
Yes,
wanted to.
and
any
chances
other
are,
time.
exactly, and chances are he probably has gone on that hike many times before. Because if he lives in the area, he surely went on that hike before. He's going to take, the girl that he's just meeting. Oh, yeah, we'll go on this hike. I've been on that hike before. Let's go on the hike.
Yeah.
So he surely's been on it before. It's not like anything new. It's not like something he can't even go back to if he hasn't been on it before. What do you think?
That makes no sense to me. I would be pissed if I was like, hey, like, I don't feel good to like finish this hike. Let's go back. And he was like, no.
I'm going to
go back.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. I'm just going to go and finish the hike. It's like, wait.
Flew over here to see you.
Right. And you're just going to go and
pick a hike over me.
And you just want to go and continue hiking?
Yeah. And then I mysteriously die.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right. Something's up. And he's a cop. And, the police investigated, of course. Supposedly he's done nothing wrong. I don't know how intentional it was. Okay. But he's at least kind of negligent here.
He sent her a message, like a little meme.
Yeah.
That said, like, girls love being swept off their feet.
Until you throw them in the back of their trunk.
Yeah. It's then when they start freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not funny.
Yeah.
I would be scared. Why would she still go meet up with him?
I think she just thought of him just being kind of goofy or just kind of funny and just trying to scare her a little bit. Ha ha, you think that I could be, this bad person, but I'm not, and all this type of thing. And I don't know how intentional it was, right? All it does seem like is that he's very negligent, and there's a lot more to the story than he's saying to everybody and that he's claiming. I think there was a fight. That's what I think. I think there was a fight. They had a fight midway up the mountain, and that she was like, oh, then I'm not going to be here. What am I here for? And then she went back down the mountain, and that he decided to continue up the mountain, kind of even just get away from her. I think there was some kind of fight like that. Maybe he told her to go the wrong way intentionally to kind of be like, oh yeah, go down the mountain and make sure you hang the right when it's really hanging the left.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that where he intentionally got her lost. I think there's something going on. I don't think it's as simple or as innocent as he's claiming. Like, oh, we decided, she couldn't make it all the way up. I decided to go up. She decided to go down and died of heat exposure. There you go. End of story.
Did they
There's something more
further to like see if maybe she died from other than dehydration or heat exposure?
I think
there has to be something else because like
it could have been. It could have been, but at the same time, they did the autopsy.
They did.
Yeah. So they have an idea. It's just that.
But no sign of like struggle or trauma.
Right. I don't think so because he was cleared of that.
That's so weird.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Without water.
Especially in Arizona.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Arizona's a desert. You don't have to be a geography major to know that it's the desert. And anyone knows that. When you're going to be hiking, you're going to be exerting yourself. You know that could be deadly. And someone like her who knows about fitness, thinking of possibilities here.
Yeah.
Where they get into a fight, he takes the water, throws the water, maybe even something like that. And then he goes up, she goes down, and then maybe that's where it happened. It doesn't make sense. Again, I think at least had a fight. Something happened, and he's just not saying it, whether it's because he is very, very involved or just more negligent and more at fault than he just even wants to get into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's something like that. There's just no way. It just doesn't make sense. She just flew in for you to see you.
Yeah.
You're just going to abandon her on the hike? It doesn't make sense. They had a fight. She probably found out that he's still talking to other girls or something else is happening that she was kind of pissed off about.
Like they weren't as serious as she thought they were or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was probably thinking that they were more exclusive.
Yeah.
And then found out that they weren't and he was involved with other women. And then it's like, hey.
Maybe.
Hey, we're not exclusive. What's the issue? What's the deal?
He's probably like, my plan today was to finish this hike and meet up with another girl. I wasn't expecting you here.
Yeah, or maybe he was like, hey, maybe I thought you were into threesomes. That could happen. And I think it's a very real possibility that they just got off on the wrong foot. It was like, oh, shoot. I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know you did that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Hey, when you meet somebody, have you ever met anybody long distance? I have.
Like meet them online first.
Yeah.
And then meet them in person. Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was not a good experience.
Right?
No. Because
why?
People sound amazing over the phone. Just like the interviews we had.
Right?
They sound so confident. They make themselves sound great because you're not here.
Yeah.
So you can comfortably lie or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like you meet them in person and they're like not half the person they said they were.
From a girl's perspective,
Uh-huh.
dating a guy,
Yeah.
what is the biggest problem? Is it personality? Is it interests? Is it lifestyle? What is it?
It's how there's so much going on in their life that you are not aware of. You're so blind to it. Yeah. Or other girls.
Other girls.
Yeah.
Oh.
That I can relate to because I was like, what the hell?
I think
And
I think it may have been something like that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say
Here's the thing with
anything,
guys. I'm going to be real. Here's the thing with guys. There's always other girls.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to be real. All right. All you girls. All right. That's how it is with guys.
Uh-huh.
There's always other girls. I think guys and girls have a very different perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like with guys are always single, and with girls, they're always taken. And guys are always single, even when they're not maybe technically single. And girls are always taken when they're not actually taken.
They're loyal to a fault. Yeah.
Yes.
They're loyal even to that one fuck boy.
If there's any possibility, if there's any wiggle room, I was going to be real, okay? If there's any wiggle room for a guy to say that he's not actually dating a girl, okay, he's going to say he's not dating a girl and he's single, okay? Okay, so you have to understand, right? So if you didn't have that formal conversation and it's very clear in every imaginable way, in every language that he understands, that he is taken, that, okay, me and you, we are together, right? In every language imaginable, in every situation possible, in every possible combination of speaking. If you don't have that conversation with him, he's going to immediately think that, no, we're probably not together. It's okay for me to talk to any girl. He's going to think of himself as single. Yeah. That's basically how it is. But with the opposite with the girl. Yeah. The girl, it's kind of like, oh, well, we've been talking for 2 nights in a row, so we're together.
It's not that bad, but yeah, girls like kind of.
It's pretty close.
Make it official in their head way quicker.
Exactly.
Than it actually becomes quicker.
Exactly. And going back to this example, I think something like that happened.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And I think there was a disagreement. Mm-hmm. I think, there's a major disagreement where it's just like, wait a second, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize there was, this other, your ex was involved, or you're being texted every hour by your ex.
I feel like that's why girls get hurt easier too.
Why?
In the whole little dating phase.
Okay.
Not in the relationship part, but like when you're starting to date and stuff.
Yeah.
Like girls get hurt more because they their brain moves way
quicker, way quicker.
Uh-huh.
And it's also like in high school, that's a lot usually the case too. My first girlfriend, I just, I didn't know how it worked at all. And I was kind of I guess call it like a late bloomer in way of dating in high school. So I started dating a girl and I was just like, I just thought it was just one date. And all of a sudden, no, we're dating. I'm like, wait, boyfriend, girlfriend? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what? That's not how I saw it. No. That time was just kind of us getting to see each other for the first time outside of school. We're dating? I didn't know how that actually worked like that.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Did you end up actually being together?
I had to.
You didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. It wasn't in my control.
It's worse.
And then when you first start out, you kind of feel bad as a guy because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make her cry. Oh my gosh, I'm going to make someone cry for the first time.
Yeah.
I've never had that situation until high school, when I started dating a girl. It was all of a sudden, wait a second, I feel bad. I'm making this girl cry.
So you just get in a relationship making her cry? No, that's so much worse. Just let her cry. She'll move on. It's okay.
That was probably my biggest fault, especially early on in dating. Now I'm just like, yo, it's just what it is. All right. But before early on, I was literally afraid of making girls cry. I couldn't do it. So I would just be stuck with them sometimes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so much worse.
I know. I was really bad with dating. Like, I was probably one of the worst daters ever in the history of dating. How'd you feel about making guys cry?
I don't think I've made a guy cry before, but
Really?
I don't know, because
You're not a heartbreaker?
that one long distance relationship, I just broke up with him over text. Yeah, so I was like,
Typical Gen Z, right,
yeah,
ZZ?
I was like, no, I don't want to look at your face when I tell you this.
See, this is the thing.
Yeah.
When I was dating in high school, way back in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a millennial. Cell phones were out.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't personally have a cell phone. That was before like high schoolers had cell phones. You would actually have to call them and hear their voice and hear them cry on the phone. Breakups and meeting people long distance ain't the easiest thing. The one time I did it like completely blindly. Hopefully she's not watching this, but because she's gonna know who she is. I think guys naturally have an idea of a girl and create this idea in their head when they don't ever see the girl in person. And then all of a sudden you see the girl. It's just sometimes a little shocking.
Good or bad?
It's always bad.
It's always bad.
It's always bad.
What do you mean? So you like imagine someone amazing in your head, and then you see them in person,
it's
and
like,
they're like,
dude, I didn't know you photoshopped those photos.
Oh shit.
Oh. Yeah, it's usually those things.
Shit.
Yes, it's usually that. And it sucks. It's bad. Okay, so any guy out there, I'm giving you a warning, okay? Don't do it. Because chances are you have this idea in your head that she's way different. And usually a very higher, just a better looking version of her than she really is. That time, oh my gosh, I can't believe. And it was months. I made the mistake. It was months, easy. I was texting her and talking to her, and it was for months.
Was this long distance?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was talking to her for months, and then
then
finally,
FaceTime is for.
I know. I think I was scared to do it because I didn't want to burst the bubble.
Ooh.
I think that's what it was. I think I was just scared, and I just wanted to keep that idea in my head that she was, I guess, something that I wish she was. Man, online sucks. I think that's the moral of this.
I know.
The whole moral of this whole podcast, guys. Online sucks. Don't ever trust anything you see or hear about someone online.
Yeah. Have
Don't.
you heard that thing where
Just
they're
don't.
like...
It's not worth it because they're totally different. If you think it's too good to be true or seems a little odd or, hey, that can't be right, probably not.
Chances are they're fake.
No, they're faking it. They're fucking fakers. So that's what we got for you. So if you're not already subscribed, remember to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or on all the other places you get your podcasts, including Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, all those places. That's where we are. Anywhere you get your podcast, that's where you can get Schaik Podcast. We'll see you at the top.